What is up there, guys? Penguinator01 here. I decided to do a quick tutorial because I had a few of my friends that started watching some of my videos. They asked, like, how do you get the different overlays and your settings on your Elgato and obviously what do you use to capture it. And I just told you I use my Elgato as a capture device. First thing to do is figure out, what you're recording on. Now, because I'm recording, I can't do this, but right here where it says Other, I'm doing that because I'm recording on my PC. And if I was recording on an Xbox, I would click at the Xbox 360, Xbox One. I think the Wii, iPad, iPhone is even on there, and PlayStation 4. Now for PlayStation 3, that's a little bit more complicated, but not too bad. You have to get a converter box that you put your HDMI through from the PlayStation 3, and then you take another HDMI, plug that into your Elgato, and then your Elgato to your television, and you can play the PlayStation 3 games and record that way. And you have to do it that way because PlayStation, or Sony in particular, has a little thing on there that you have to turn off on your PS4 to get it to work. I think it's called the HDCP function in your system settings. You have to turn that off. If you don't, you try to start recording, the screen will flicker, you won't be able to record. It's something that Sony has. And with the PlayStation 3, you have to use this box to bypass that because there's not a function to turn it off. Xbox and everything, I think they've completely done away with that, so there's no problem with there. But so this is where you go for that, and of course you can do your picture settings. I keep mine right there, brightness and everything right in the middle. My audio, I keep it 0. Profiles, of course, there's mine right there, the Penguinator01, but you can, whatever yours is. And I always keep mine at TV compatibility 12 because it's the best I can get. Now, if we go back, also for recording, I have mine all set for 720 because I find that most people can view in 720. It doesn't hurt the computer, it doesn't cause lag. However, some still do 1080. That's okay. If your computer can handle 1080, that's fine, do 1080. But I find it easier for the videos and the gaming and to help decrease the lag problems. Always record in 720 as your highest. I also do allow 60 FPS or frames per second, because my computer can handle that. Now there are some out there that cannot handle that, so you want to unclick allow 60 FPS if your computer cannot handle it. And you'll have to go into your settings and control panel and everything to find out what your computer settings are and what they can handle. Now from there, as you can see, quality I have set to best, which is good for HD. And again, that depends on your computer, what can it handle, its processing speed and everything. If your processing speed is not that big with your computer, like a gaming laptop or a gaming desktop, and you're just using a regular PC to record and you don't do PC gaming, instead of using best, you might want to use better or somewhere right in here, because your processing speed will not be as good as a gaming PC. So that's how you take care of that. Now over here you will see my volume control. Now for this, I have it set at 100 for when I was playing Black Ops 3 Zombies the other day. For some reason at 100 it's audible, but not as audible. And I did got an update, and I think the update's going to allow me to start recording through the HDMI sound. Originally it wouldn't, so that will probably add to it. And also, but let's say you have a game and your game audio is actually louder than your commentary, but you don't want your commentary too loud, because if you're over here in the red, it's going to peak out your mic and it's not going to sound that good. So at most 75 is where I've come at, but majority of the time I will bring it all the way down to 50, 55, or usually I have it at 60 usually. But for this, I decided to turn up just a little bit to make sure I was able to get good audio for y'all for this tutorial. Now, on your game audio, like I said, if you're at 75 and you're playing a game, oh, it's too loud, you sit here and you just click on it and hold your left click on the mouse, and you can bring it all the way down here. Now, 20, for some games, that is perfect. You can still get great audio from the game, and you won't have to worry about it going over your commentary. However, let's say you want some good audio from the game and you want to keep your commentary going. You can also click automatically reduce game sound. So in other words, whenever you talk, it's going to automatically drop the game sound. So you don't have to worry about every time you try to talk, okay, am I going to be talking over the game, or is the game going to be playing its sound over me? That's what that's for. However, I always keep my game audio down enough to where so I just unclick it. This is a Elgato sound capture system just for that if you want to do it apart from this game audio. And I just leave it clicked because the way I record, it doesn't matter if it's clicked or not clicked, so it really doesn't matter. Now over here, this is where one of my friends was having a question. If you take that off, you can see all this disappears, but I'll leave mine on so I can see what I've got. This is where your overlays are. Now for the overlays, I have different ones. I have one here I use for DC Universe, and then I have them set up for the different horror shooter games, different games like Black Ops, and other games online to where it'll cover the bottom and the top, so you can't see the website, can't see all the information that's down at the bottom of my screen, which I should have used originally on some of my videos, but I didn't, and so on. And one of my friends asked me, well, how do I get overlays downloaded? Okay, so I'm going to do this. There's one. Okay, now as you can see, nothing happened because it's a blank overlay. So to add one, let's go here. We're going to go to Edit and click right here. Now we're going to go Add Image. Okay, so I'm going to add image, and as you can see, I got a bunch of them. And this one I decided because of the big app that's, well, not really a big app, but the app has taken the world by storm, Pokemon Go. So I made a Pokemon Go overlay, if I can find it here. There it is. And as you can see, there's your Pokemon Go overlay. And what will happen is when I finish recording, you will see this pop up, and got to keep my mouse moving or it's going to change the size of the screen. So there's the overlay. Now if you want to save the overlay to make sure it doesn't disappear or is actually working, you press right here where it says Save Scenes. And ta-da, there's your overlay. Now at the end of this video, you will probably see that overlay at some point, or not really end of the video, but right now you should see that video or this overlay, if I can talk straight. You will be seeing this overlay right now on my video. However, if I want to go back to a blank so you can see what I'm doing, I just click that and the overlay disappears. And you can do this while you're actually recording, as you can see. But the thing you need to realize with overlays, don't make them so you can make your own through Photoshop, which is how I do mine. And actually one of my friends, Georgia Boy Gaming, you can go to his channel. He does a lot of sports videos. I made one for him for NBA 2K17. Just put different players in there for him and set it all up, and it actually turned out pretty good. He liked it. So you can do different overlays, but for the overlays, for them to work on the Elgato, you need to make sure they are saved as a .png, which is a setting on Photoshop you can save them. But let's say like with the Pokemon one, I'm going to bring it back up real quick. Excuse me. You can see I have Ash, I have Squirtle, I have Bulbasaur, I have Pikachu, and then I put Charmander and all his different variations on the side. Charmander was one of my favorites when I watched the show, and I got Pokemon up top and Pokemon on bottom. Each one of these I found on the internet through different sites or whatever. If you want to download an image to put in the overlay, you need to make sure the image itself is a .png image. If you don't and you download just a JPEG or whatever, then the whole background of that picture, let's say it's white, black, whatever, will fill up the whole screen in your overlay, and you won't see the game through the overlay. So again, make sure they are .png. Otherwise it won't work, and you'll get a JPEG that'll cover the whole screen. Okay, let me go back to a blank here. But as you can see, it's really not that difficult to do this. Now if you want to do a live stream, which I'm not going to do, you go right here to this stream button, and you would, of course, you have to have it set up to your YouTube account, your Twitch account, whatever you're going to do the live stream for, and you would click, and it would start streaming. And what I've done a couple of streams. I did one for Doom, the 2016 version. I did one as a movie review for the new Ghostbusters movie, and a game review for the new game. So, or the new Ghostbusters video game that Activision came out with. And that's how I did it. I used that live stream function right there. Now let's say you're doing something and you want to take a snapshot. that's where you do that. You can do a quick screenshot, and that's good. Let's say you're playing a game and you're recording a little bit of it, but you want to record it and you want to put something over where, say, your friends' names are or people you play with names are, because they don't want their names on YouTube. You would film it, take a snapshot of that portion where their names show up, and then what you do is you take that as a JPEG, put it into Photoshop, and then you would just put a design overlay over that to where it would cover up completely where your friends' names are or other people's names show up, and then make that as your overlay. Again, save it as a .png, and then you add it like I showed you over here in these. And when you start recording, just be sure before you get the game really going and everything, you go ahead and set the overlay up and start recording that way. That way, the moment you start recording, the overlay is already there. You don't have to worry about it. Oops, I forgot. And your friends and other people's names are covered so that they don't have to worry about getting a ton of messages by saying, people saying, hey, add me and all this stuff. So that way their privacy is kept and you can still have a good gameplay, joke around with them, and so on. And I'm trying to make sure and of course down here, let me scroll down. This is your tags that it records to for your computer itself. Now with this one, like I'm doing Elgato tutorial, I put Elgato game capture because these two fields right here have to have something in them or it will not let you record. So I filled those two in with just that because it's just a quick tutorial and everything. So overall, that is just a basic tutorial. I mean, there's some that go really in depth with what you can and cannot do on a Gato and everything. But as you can see with my different overlays, which I'll go ahead and start displaying them for you real quick. I like one I downloaded, which is this one. That's for the DC Universe Online, which I wanted to use. And as you can see, somebody did a lot of work with it. They did a really good job. And I decided to be lazy and be like, you know what, I'm going to download it. So instead of making my own for DC Universe Online, I didn't make this one. I downloaded this one for free from a template website. I forgot which one it was. If I can find it again, I'll go ahead and put that in the description for you if you want to go get that one. And actually, I take it back. If you go to my video on DC Universe Online characters, I did put that in the description of where you can go to find this overlay. So it is down in there. And now the rest of them I did make. This is one I made for my gaming for Dead by Daylight. As you can see, I got my Twitter up here, Penguinator01. Actually, it's supposed to be an underscore right there, but for some reason it wouldn't do it. And then I got my Google Plus, the Penguinator01, and of course the skull for the Dead by Daylight. And down here, don't forget to like and subscribe. This one I just changed, same overlay, but I just changed the picture to Dead Space because that's the one I use for my Dead Space gaming. And here's one I was talking about where it covers up the bottom of the screen and the top of the screen completely, so there's no side tabs or anything showing if I'm just doing a website, like say Cards Against Humanity or something. I've decided to start doing this to cover up the bottom and the top, just to, of course, it still has my Twitter. And this is my character that I personally made in a online machine. I think it was called Hero Maker or Hero Designer or something like that, where you can make your own superhero. And I made him up pretty good. And then here's the one I used for my Black Ops. As you can see, the sides here I cut off just to give it a quick angle and everything, but it turned out pretty good and still has the same information. Now this one I made up for the upcoming Friday the 13th video game, and I added Jason Voorhees hockey mask there for the rest of it. And of course, here's the one I did for the Pokemon, and here's one I did for Ghostbusters. And as you can see, they all turned out pretty well. This is supposed to have an underscore, like I said right here, and for some reason it will not do it. When I try it, it puts download font at something instead of the underscore. I don't know why it does that. I'm still working on it. And of course, you can go back to your blank where there's nothing. But the reason I did the Pokemon one, like I said, because right now Pokemon Go is really popular. But hopefully this, but again, real quick, to make sure, because this is where a lot of people have trouble with their overlays. One, make sure it is a .png, not a JPEG. If it's a JPEG, it will cover the whole screen and you won't see anything going on in the background. So it has to be a .png. That's really important. And like I said, like see here, number 10 is blank. If I want to add something to it, I click edit scenes. I go here, you add image, then pick whatever image you want. And actually, let me pick one so I can show you if I've got a JPEG. Let's see here. Yep, here's one for Overwatch. All right. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with JPEG. So as you can see with the JPEG, it's in the middle of the screen. You can't see anything behind it, and you're not going to be able to see what's going on at all. So that's why it has to be a .png. If it's a JPEG like this, it will cover the whole thing and you can't see it, so there's no point in having it. Now, if you want to use it as just a side picture, something, you can do this. You can make it really, really tiny and just put it over here in the corner. So like people know you're playing Overwatch or Dead Space or whatever, or do like I did where I put it up here in the middle and I had my writing on either side. You could do that. But then, like I said, if you want to get rid of it, you just press the little X on the side and then press save, and now it's saved and you don't have to worry about it. So anyway, guys, we're going to end that video tutorial here. Hopefully this was able to help some of you who are just getting into gaming or recording your gameplay. And if you like this video and this tutorial, please feel free to hit that like button, subscribe, and that way you'll receive notifications of all my future video uploads. And also on video number 75, which I'm on, this will make number 73. So then I'll have video number 74 uploaded, and then number 75 is going to be a Q&A. Be sure to go to my Twitter, Penguinator01. Send me a bunch of questions, and I'll answer them on that video. Until then, guys, again, hopefully this tutorial helped you out a little bit, and I will see you guys next time. Later.